curiosity killed a cat. Keep in mind that quote if you ever want to venture to a palace that's rumored to be filled with ghosts. Welcome back, guys. It's Motion Recaps again, and today we're covering the 2012 horror Grave Encounters 2. In the sequel to the movie Grave Encounters, a group of devoted fans of Grave Encounters breaks into the same mental hospital where the first movie took place. They plan to investigate whether the events in the movie were real. The group then gets in the same trouble as the Grave Encounters crew become haunted and terrorized by the hospital ghosts. And before we begin, feel free to subscribe to our channel and also please like the video. Also make sure to remain with us until the end to find out how great this movie is. It truly helps our great community grow and enable us to thrive for the highest quality content. And so without further ado, let's dive straight in. The movie begins with a montage of videos of people reviewing the movie Grave Encounters. Some people find the movie scary, while others think it's just cheap and fake garbage. Our protagonist Alex leaves his review in a video, which he uploads on his YouTube channel. He thinks the movie is a real failure and that it's really overrated. Alex is a student and a movie enthusiast who lives a pretty regular life, while his roommate Trevor is a party maniac. One day, Alex receives a video from a person called Death Awaits. In the video, Alex and Trevor see Lance Preston, the protagonist of the movie Grave Encounters, wandering around an asylum. Alex gets confused because he knows the scene is not in the original movie. Alex and Trevor have a horror movie project named Slash and Burn. Their friend Jennifer has a major role in the movie. The movie scene starts with Jennifer arguing with her boyfriend because she doesn't want to make out with him. He gets really mad at her and goes for a smoke. Later, she goes to check him out and then his head falls off. After the cut, Alex shows Trevor a message which he got from Death Awaits. He sent a bunch of numbers, and later, Alex figures out those numbers are the coordinates of a mental hospital where the movie Grave Encounters was shot. Alex tells Trevor that they use a fake name for a mental hospital, and when Alex tells him the real name of a building, it gets censored. Alex believes that everything in the movie is real. He explains to Trevor and Jennifer that there is no trace of the movie crew and that they just disappeared. Also, the man who was taking care of a building has killed himself. Later, Alex posts a video in which he asks his viewers to help him if they have any information about the crew of the movie. We get to see another scene of Slash and Burn. Now it's full of effects from the Saw movie and it feels so cheap. Jennifer's tied up and a killer approaches her. He pulls her tooth out and he gets a drill. He shoves it in her eye. After a cut, we can see another video of Alex in which tells that someone sent an address of a Lance Preston's home. Alex finds a phone number of a house and he dials it. Lance's mother answers. Alex asks her if they can come to interview Lance. She tells them they can. Alex then goes there with Trevor, Jennifer, and their friend Jared. He plans to film everything so he can make a documentary. He goes there and the mother tells them that Lance will be back shortly. They interview her and later her caretaker shows up and she tells the group to get out of the house. Outside, she explains to them that Lance is missing and that his mother has dementia. Later, Alex makes a video about that event. Suddenly, his camera glitches and the printer prints something out. Alex gets the paper out and he sees he got an address and the name of a studio in LA where the Grave Encounters producer Jerry Hartfield is filming something. Alex goes to interview him and he takes a small spy camera with him. Through their conversation, Alex finds out that everything in Grave Encounters is real and that the crew is really missing. He tells Jerry that he will tell everything to the police and Jerry tells him that no one will believe him. Alex gets back to his friends. He tells them about the encounter with Jerry and they decide to venture out and film a documentary in that abandoned hospital. Jennifer's friend Tess joins them and the group goes to Canada. They find the mental hospital, but the security guard shows up and tells them to leave. He also asks them to hand over the footage. Jennifer tries to talk the way out by telling the security guard that they're doing a school project. But that changes nothing. The situation escalates and the security guy tries to take their camera. Alex drives and the group escapes. That night, group drinks and Alex show off their equipment. They wait some time to pass and then they head out to the mental hospital. The group leaves their van and they sneak in the property. They see the security guard from earlier, but he gets a call from a co-worker who tells him he saw something suspicious. The security guard goes to investigate and the group uses that chance to break into the mental hospital. They set up their cameras in the places where the ghost's activity is supposed to be high, and they begin filming. Alex and Jennifer act like hosts. After some time of talking about the mental hospital and the movie Grave Encounters, the group goes to a tunnel where Lance disappeared. They find the remains of a rat that Lance ate in a movie, and then they enter one room in which they find an improvised Ouija board. Alex and Jennifer try to talk with ghosts. They ask if it has any names. The planchette moves, and the spirit answers that his name is Death. The group gets visibly scared, and then the planchette moves really fast. It tells them to film everything. Alex and Jennifer back away from the table, and at that moment, something throws chairs in the table. The group runs away and they barricade themselves in one room. Something starts bashing the door. Everyone thinks that it's a ghost, but instead of some ghost, it's a security guard. He takes them to the main hall and tells them he's calling the police and that their equipment will be confiscated. Alex tries to talk him out, and then everyone hears someone running on the upper floor. The security guard thinks that someone is with them and he goes to investigate. The group argues. Alex wants to collect the footage while the others want to leave. They hear gunshots and they decide to take their equipment. They split into two groups. Jared and Tessa collect a few cameras and they arrive at the place where ghosts supposedly open windows from time to time. Tessa is behind Jared and he goes to take the camera when he hears the window opening. And then he sees something and he flies through the window. Horrified, Tessa arrives and she immediately calls others using a horn. They arrive and they quickly take the camera to see what happened. Everyone is shocked after seeing what happened to Jared. They decide to leave immediately, and they follow glow sticks they were leaving for an entire way. However, they arrive at a dead end. The group turns around and wanders around, hoping that they will find the exit somehow. They end up in a room full of toys, and they see one toy moving. Trevor approaches it slowly. The toy stops moving, and when everyone turns around, they see a girl brushing her hair. The girl asks them if they want to play with her, and then she turns into her demonic form, and she chases them. The group runs, and everyone is screaming at Tessa to slow down. They're trying to get closer to her, but they stumble upon a dead end. Tessa is walking around alone when suddenly all the doors act all crazy. She runs away, but something pushes her and then strangles her. Others are trying to find Tessa, and they see a flickering light on one room. They go inside hoping that Tessa is there, but they find the security guard lying on the table. A shock therapy machine is attached to him. Alex turns it off and he tries to help him, but the machine turns itself on. The security guard starts to burn and the group leaves him. Trevor finds a window and everyone is happy. Out of nowhere, a ghost grabs Trevor and somehow he gets himself free. The enormous ghost chases the group. They're running for their lives and suddenly they get to the main hall, but the ghost is still following them. They rush to the front door and they get outside. The ghost is hurling at them, but he turns into the dust when it gets outside. The group quickly goes to the security guard's car and they drive back to the hotel in which they were staying. They decide to leave immediately and they head out to an elevator. Everyone is feeling relieved, but once the elevator arrived on the second floor, they find themselves in the basement of the mental hospital. They wander aimlessly, pipes burst, and the smoke comes out. Trevor turns the thermal camera and he sees a man approaching them. It's Lance. He tells them to follow him quickly, and they go to the ventilation shaft. They follow him. However, Trevor's foot gets caught and the ghost girl appears. With his luck, he frees himself and he falls to the ground. The group finds themselves in Lance's hideout. He spent 9 years in this mental hospital and he mapped the whole thing out. Alex gives Lance a pair of scissors so he can trim his hair. He notices strange drawings on the wall, and Lance tells him that those are a door that can lead them out of here. It takes them to a place where the door is located, but they are completely chained up. Alex tells Lance that they got bolt cutters, but they lost them with the rest of the equipment. Lance pulls out his map, and he asks Alex where he left bolt cutters. Alex tells him it was near the room with the bathtubs, and Lance tells them he will lead them there. After some time, they find the bag with tools. Lance tells them they need to rest a little before they continue. While everyone is sleeping, the camera levitates and it films everyone. Later, Trevor wakes up and he takes the camera. He walks around and vents about how he doesn't want to die. Suddenly, Lance shows up and he attacks Trevor, who tries to fight back, but Lance strangles him. Something pushes Lance away and the camera levitates and it starts to film Lance. Lance eventually arrives at his destination and uses bolt cutters to cut the chain. He passes through the door, but nothing happens. The ghost is filming him for a whole time. Lance gets mad and he talks to the ghost, who communicates with him by writing the messages on the wall. He tells him he needs to collect all tapes and finish the movie if he wants to be free. Alex and Jennifer find Trevor's body in the empty bag. Alex figures out that Lance killed Trevor and then took everything from the bag. However, Lance left the map. Jennifer manages to read it and she navigates through the dark halls. They end up in a Dr. Friedkin's office and they witness a ritual in which the doctor sacrifices a baby. A ghost nurse surprises the duo and they escape. Soon, the duo meets Lance, who gathered all the tapes. The ghost is filming everything. Lance tells Alex that he needs to finish the movie to be free, and he attacks him. Jennifer saves Alex by hitting Lance, and then the ghost opens a portal in the wall. Lance gets sucked in and Jennifer saves Alex. Alex talks about how the movie needs to be finished. He figured out that the ghost sent him an email and everything was a part of the ghost's grand plan. That's a really tech-savvy ghost if you ask me. Then Alex tells Jennifer that she will be the star of the movie. He hits her in the head with a camera, and then he continues to bash her like crazy. Jennifer dies and the door opens up. Alex gets through them. Later, he gets arrested by 2 police officers. He asks them which city he's in, and they tell him he's in LA. And then we can see Alex together with Jerry, who talks about the new movie called Grave Encounters 2. He points out that everything in the movie is fake, and Alex confirms that. Alex then says that no one should go and look for the mental hospital from the movie, because there is nothing there. And then we can see the mental hospital's coordinates on the screen. The movie ends there. There you have it. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel though, if you like it. And also hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and hit that bell icon so you'd be notified if we have new stories for you. After this video, why don't you check out these videos we've attached for you? See you next time. See you next time.